First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that's prayed, man, and sent me messages. I cannot even begin to tell you how far it took me and how it brought me back. I went through something that I thought I would never ever go through. And I know a lot of people were waiting, or wanting to hear updates, but to be honest with you, I just didn't want you to see me like that, man. I want you to see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with tubes running out of me and trying to figure out if I was gonna make it through. And to be honest with you, my sister Deidre Dixon, my daughter Corinne Marie saved my life. So to them, to God, to a lot of great medical people, I'm able to leave you this video. I cannot tell you how great it feels to have your family kick in such a way, and y'all know they kept it airtight. They didn't let nothing out. They protected me, and that's what I hope that everyone could have in moments like these. Now, by being quiet, sometimes things, get out of hand. People saying what I got. Some people said I was blind, but as you can see, the eyes are working. The eyes are working just fine. They said I was paralyzed. I'm not paralyzed. But I did go through, I went to hell and back, and my road to recovery had some potholes as well. But I'm coming back, and I'm able to work. So I want to thank the people that let me work, and I just want to say that I love everybody, and I love all of the love that I got. And man, I know they talk about people crying on videos. You can do take two, but I'm not gonna do a take two. It is what it is. And if you see me out from now on and every once in a while I just burst into tears, is because it's been tough, man. I was sick, man, but now I got my legs under me, so you're gonna see me out. But like I said, I just want you to remember me for the jokes that I crack. The movies that I make, some of them good, some of them ain't. I think I got a good one out. And the songs that I sing, man. And then, some people were talking about I'm clone. Well, check this out. Just kidding. Not clone, man, but I'm here on earth because of some great people. I'm here on earth because of God, man. So I love all y'all. I just wanted to jump on here and let you know that I'm on my way back. In love.
Much love and big shout out to Jamie Foxx. Going through a medical stint, like what it is that he went through while also being a public figure. On one side of the coin, you want to let your supporters, your fans know kind of what is going on. But on the other side of the coin, you're going through a medical matter. And I think a lot of this perception comes from the old school, right? In a sense of, there's a degree of weakness established with a current medical condition that you're going through, and which is a lot different than the Gen Ys and the Gen Zers who are okay with sharing a lot of things. Like, for example, when my father just recently passed away, I had close friends call after he passed away and just was like, I didn't even know that he was sick. And there's something about the older generation, and I see this a lot with Black men, that don't want to come forward with a medical diagnosis and exactly what is going on because they establish it as a point of weakness. And for men, I guess a lot more traditional / old school type men, being seen as weak is just as much as a no-no as having someone publicly disrespect you. Shout out to Will Smith. Anyway, I've seen this play out in my life as well, specifically when I was going through my cancer stint, and my immediate reaction was to go up online and release a video telling everybody to essentially go get your balls checked. I'm gonna share something with you guys, is that my conversation with my father after that wasn't a particularly good one, because again, he comes from the old school. You're not supposed to let anyone know kind of information like that because they see it as the appropriate time to strike and or a time of you being weak, so they can strike, right? But I did, and then I went radio silent, and just like Jamie Foxx, the birds started to chirp about rumors and things that just weren't true. So much as to say, people were accusing me of never being sick to begin with. And while they weren't accusing me of being cloned, they were accusing me of not having an illness to begin with, or utilizing sickness in order to push my career forward. Truly sick, twisted, demented, and abyss level thinkers who will often create stories about other people's lives to just serve as entertainment for themselves. It's truly a weird world that we live in, but it's a part of the world that we live in. So we must act accordingly. Anyway, again, shout out to Jamie Foxx. And guys, listen, actually right before I saw this video, I was actually going through my YouTube studio, just looking at all my old videos. And what I saw there was a Patreon video that I posted almost 2 years ago, roughly a month after I went through testicular cancer surgery. So it's been 2 years since I uploaded this video. I wanted to play that video at the end of this because I wanted to show you guys kind of my mindset and my degrees and level of thinking, because no matter if you guys go through financial hardship or you go through a medical hardship, right? And the medical one is guaranteed. The financial one is really just off of the probability based off of your decisions within life and the head start that you got within life, right? But we're all going to run into different things, relationship struggles and issues, right? But I want you guys to be able to bounce back from an L, to bounce back from a dip in the market, to bounce back from a significant other relationship that has left you not feeling as well, and to watch me a month out kind of discuss something specific to balance within my life and articulate my thoughts. I just wanted to share that with you guys to continue to push you guys in your life forward as you live them out. All right. As men, we typically do not have platforms to really talk about real shit. I still feel to a degree there's components of the internet that focus on this kind of bravado through masculinity. But the fact of the matter is that we all go through shit. Sid, I can take a look at the S rate amongst young males and be able to tell you that we definitely go through shit, but we don't have the appropriate resources, tools, education to understand once we go through shit, what is the best way to conceptualize a solution. And although I was going through at that time, right, because I've gone through way worse shit after that, but at that time, the worst time in my life ever, and to try to conceptualize how I can turn my L into a W. And I want you guys to be able to do the same. Turn your L's into W, because that's what being a man is about. We don't fold. We don't fumble. We get knocked down, but it's not about getting knocked down. It's getting back up and rising to the occasion. What up, family? I wanted to come and have a quick conversation with y'all. I was just recently inspired to get up here just to talk my ish. I'm not going to make it long, but I just wanted to come and politic and hopefully inspire you guys. So this video will only be on the Patreon. It's only for the inner circle. And I think I'm going to be doing a lot more of these going into the future, just to give you guys some live and direct information from me, whether that be kind of things that's going on from my perspective or some things that's happening out into the world, or, things from a financial perspective. I think I'm going to bake this a lot more into the content that's up on Patreon. And I think that I can do this more appropriately now that I'm fitting in more balance within my life. We'll get back to that word balance here in a quick second. So you guys know exactly what I've been going through over the past 6, 7, 8 weeks or something like that. And I can't believe it, I'm saying that because it feels like it's been 6 months low key. So I recently just had some really good news. So after I had the surgery, and the surgery was the 24th of September. I got the news of the information on the 23rd of September, and then the surgery actually happened the next day. And then I don't think I got the news back until about 3-ish weeks later regarding the results of the biopsy. And the results of the biopsy was such that it was stage 1A. It was definitely cancer. It was stage 1A, meaning that it was confined, or at least they thought that it was confined to the testicle that was removed. And at that time, there was a big sigh of relief, as I'm recovering, as I'm getting better, and everything is really just slipping back into just a complete and utter place of normalcy. But I still had one other additional test to do to give more concrete evidence that it was confined. And just so people that don't know, it gets to stage 2. That means that it spread somewhere else. Typically, testicular cancer either first goes to your lungs or it goes to your lymph nodes. So a couple of days ago, I had a test specific to lungs and as well as checking lymph nodes. And everything came out well. Everything came out really well. So now it's been, 7-8 weeks later, and I've gone through definitely the most traumatic time within my life, especially extended period of time. There's been other things that's happened into my life that I think still impact me to this day, but this is one that I'm going to take with me for a while. But I'm pretty much 99.5% back. You know what I'm saying? Like I talked about in the previous videos, it was from a physical perspective, it was a quick recovery. Getting my tonsils taken out was a lot more crazy from a physical perspective, because it was a lot of physical pain. This one here was more mental. Not only just mental from a perspective of, losing something that is tied to your masculinity, to your manhood, literally from a biological sense, your testosterone, which makes up who you are as a man. Like legitimately, I thought like my voice was going to get higher, like all these other things that you guys already know that I've talked about on multiple YouTube videos. But to know where it is right now, that I feel exactly the same, literally exactly the same. And that now that I know that it's not spread, it's such a great sigh of relief. I did something that I try not to do that often, which is last night I went out and got some cookies and cream, ice cream, and some Pringles. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the sugar and the sweet when you celebrating like that. You know what I'm saying? But within me doing that, I wanted to really talk about balance within one's life. I really wanted to talk about balance because out of all of the lessons that I have learned and the things that I'm going to put into action to change going into the future, it is this thought of balance. Okay. Now you have to ask yourself within your life, when you consider the word balance, right? The yin and the yang, right? The two opposite ends of something attracting. How much balance do you have within your life? And I say that because if you ask me prior to this, how much balance did you have in your life? I would say I'm very balanced. But after going through something which recalibrates my understanding of my mortality and that I'm not invincible. I'm not invincible. Before this, it feels like you're invincible. It felt like I was going to walk into that doctor's office at that oncologist and he was just going to tell me, oh yeah, it's just, you're normal, you're fine. I felt like that was going to happen. That's how the previous stints in the doctors and the hospital visits had gone for my entirety of my life. That's how it has gone. That's how it has gone. But that morning just wasn't my morning. So one of the things that I've been thinking through is this concept of balance, again, because prior to this, balance was defined a lot differently than the way that I'm going to define it into the future. I'm 36 years old, as you guys already know. I worked really hard through my 20s and really hard through my 30s. I would say within my 20s, I was more balanced than when I got into my 30s, but I felt like this sense of that I wasn't working hard enough. In actuality, the way that I was working is probably 90% more than most of America. You know what I'm saying? But like when I got into my 30s, like I felt this dread within my spirit and understanding, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Am I going to be happy in doing this for the rest of my life? And when I say that, I mean working from a corporate America perspective. Will I be happy doing this for the rest of my life? So I felt like I had to get myself out of a period of balance where, I could go out and have all this fun. I could go out and take all these trips. You guys already know I've seen so many countries, so many cities, have a lot of stories, a lot of good things to tell. But I nixed all of that. I nixed all of that because I identified that this is not what I want to do. This doesn't really speak to me as a person. This doesn't really speak to my personality. This doesn't really speak to me. And I knew that. But I knew within myself that I had to change it. No one else. Me. I had to change that. And I knew that I had to get out of a period of balance. But I got so much out of that period of balance that I forgot what that period of balance was. And I've talked about this a myriad of different times across several live streams. I've talked about what I forgoed in order to get this done. In order to accomplish the goal of understanding my path, my vision, my purpose. There might be times in your life where you need to do that, where you've identified that you've reached the end of the road. I had worked decades of my life, literally. If I really conceive it, I didn't know where I was going to be at where I was, but I worked decades of my life to get to that point. Okay? Back in 2013, graduating with my MBA, right? Accomplishing something that no one in my family has ever done, right? And then working for a Fortune 50 country. After working for a Fortune 3 company before that, prior to MBA, right? Doubled my salary. Doubled my worth, doubled my financial value. I reached that goal. And then I eased off the gas for a little bit and there was balance within my life. But then I reached the end of this proverbial road. And I knew that right around 2017, 2018. It was really 2018. 2018 was a really weird year for me. It was a really weird year. And that's when I started to go hard. And I went in this period of unbalance up into this diagnosis. Taking that that month off of creating content was a surreal experience because I almost forgot what it felt like. It took me the first week to even stop working. Some of you guys already know I was down in the Discord server. I'm like, I was in a Discord server the same day. I was in a Discord. I had surgery at 3 of that day, the 24th. I was in a Discord server that day. I think I was in a Discord server right after that as well. And then my family was up here and I'm, just having conversations with them. And I'm like, man, when's the last time that we actually just sat down and just politic? When's the last time that I visited you guys? When's the last time that y'all visited me? I had friends over to visit myself and my family. And I was like, when was the last time that we all just, we all got up together? Because I've seen them, but got up together and I'm not in the back of my mind thinking about contributing to influencing, to changing the picture, changing the narrative, to speaking up for men. And I really couldn't think about it. I really couldn't think about it. So anyway, although I had gotten out this period of imbalance, a medical issue snapped me back into it. Snapped me back into needing to enjoy the experience of life. Increase my expectations of myself within this life and the relationships that I'm building and the time that I'm using to build said relationships, create, build, maintain said relationships. But here's the thing, I wouldn't have gotten to this point without that period of unbalance. I've said this many times on my streams that you'll go through ebbs and you'll go through flows throughout your life. Okay? Take the calculated flow, use it to the best of your ability, and do something with it. Okay? I made sure that the last 3 years was a calculated flow. And now I'm going to be in a calculated ebb to a degree, but your boy is still doing it. Can't. Some things I got to switch around. Some things I need to. Some things I must. It's just crazy that it took me this medical emergency to realize that. Okay. So to those that are in the Discord server, just like I mentioned in my previous video, there's going to be some things changing. I think it'll be much more calculated times that I'm down up in here, or maybe I'll just get up here and spit some ish directly for y'all. To everyone else that's on the Patreon, thank you so much for your love, your support, your understanding, your patience, the reverence through the messages that you guys send. You know, it really brought me up through tough times, tough periods. You know, the earth, God, whatever it is that you believe in, has a weird way of slowing you down at the time that you need it most. And as I look back on this situation, I'm also very grateful that I had the opportunity to communicate what had happened to me, to continue to influence others, to put their life first, to put their health first, to understand the importance of checkups. Something as simple and easy as that. Because if I didn't have this focus within myself, it wouldn't have been in stage 1A. It might have went to my lungs. It might have went to my lymph nodes. I might have had to got chemotherapy. I might have had to got radiation. Balance. That's the word of today. Think about balance. It's okay for flows in your life to be unbalanced. Go balls to the wall. No pun intended. All right. No ball jokes for at least another month. Go one ball to the wall for succinct periods within your life. Sprint for succinct periods within your life. Life is a marathon, though. Imagine you sprinting a marathon. You're going to be dead in the first 800 meters. You're going to be dead. There's components of my life that have been dead. Absolutely. Last thing I'm going to talk about real quick, and maybe I'll try to get into this in future videos as well, is that I got a therapist. I've been doing therapy, digital online therapy, okay, once a week. And it's been amazing so far. I actually might change this person. I might change it. But at the same time, I'm not comparing it to, I don't really have anything else to compare it to. I've done counseling in the past, but it was with a friend. So it was like some, weird vested interest within that. But this is first time doing therapy with someone who I don't know from a can of paint. And man, I get off those calls and I just think about, you know what I'm saying? Like so often I have to be a pillar. So often I have to be the strength. So often I have to be the person that people go to. And where are the times in my life when I can just, like just, because I'm an internalizer. I'm a retrospective person and an internalizer, and the shit would just, it would just stay right the hell here. But when do I give it time to just, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'll probably get into that into future content. All right. But balance, guys, that's the word of today, this week, this month, this year. I'm going to take the word balance into me going into the next year. Got to institute balance. All right. Till next time, y'all. Peace.
You don't wanna see me get vexed. Bars on your phone, tell them man you can't jet. The big the ones who can't stretch. Breaking the neck when we in the car next. You don't wanna see me get vexed. Bars on your phone, tell them man you can't jet. The big the ones who can't stretch. Breaking the neck when we in the car next. That bars need a fibrillation ASAP. Get boxed with a straight gap. And reminded of mind state they lack. Every time that they incline, we go way back. All they wanna be is just